Hey, this is my office, and this is the work board for the CCHF Conference that's coming up. All the workshops and events that we're going to have at the conference are posted up there and represented there. We're excited and we're ready. I want to talk to you about getting ready for the conference. Our theme this year is thirsting. And that may seem like an unusual theme, and maybe you don't really understand what that means or why we're talking about thirsting. But as I look around the country and see what God's doing among His people and what's happening across the many different ministries that make up the CCHF community, the scripture that really weighs heavy on me is Isaiah 44:3, which says, "I will pour water on thirsty ground. I will cause streams to flow in the dry places. I will pour out my spirit on your offspring and my blessing on your descendants." I think it's easy for us as we get busy and as we're confronted with problems and confronted with all of the needs that we see in our communities that we love and that we're caring for, to lean into our strengths and our comfort zones. And our strengths and comfort zones are the things that we know. They're our education. They're our skill sets that we've developed. And all of those are great and they're important. We should do the best we can with those things. But in the end, they're not enough. We really need the presence of God with us. We need it for ourselves if we want to continue to serve the people that we're serving, if we want to continue to be a witness to the gospel in the communities where God has called us. I have sons-in-law that are marathon runners, and they will tell you that water stations are their salvation when they're running a marathon. When you're running a long race, you have to stay hydrated. If you don't, things get fuzzy in your head. Sometimes you lose your balance. Sometimes you have to drop out of the race. The same thing's true with someone who's wounded or someone who's very ill. When we take them to the hospital, what's the first thing they do almost? Is we start fluids. And so there's something about us being hydrated physically that I think translates well into our need for spiritual hydration. I know that a lot of you have gone through some very difficult things this year. Some of you are just running a long race. You want to keep running that race. You're running it well. That's fantastic. You still need spiritual hydration if you're going to finish this race. And I hope that that happens for you at the conference. But I also know that there's a lot of folks who've been deeply wounded this year, who have gone through serious disasters in their personal life or in their organizations, times of crisis and chaos, and you need spiritual hydration and healing. So I want to just encourage you to turn those things that you're feeling into thirst. That's the one prerequisite that God gives in this passage of Scripture. I will pour my spirit, not sprinkle my spirit, not talk about my spirit, but I will pour my spirit on thirsty ground. I'm thirsty for God's presence. I hope you are. We want to make some space for those kinds of things to happen, for us to encounter God together at the conference. So come ready, come expectant, come thirsty.